fam? It's your host, Tanae Costley, and I am back with a long overdue episode of Real Talk Business and Motivation. Today, we're going to be focusing on monetizing your authenticity with Facebook stories. So, if you guys don't know, Facebook has a new feature where we are able to rack up the coins by posting stories. So without further ado, I want to bring on a special guest tonight. Her name is Carla, and she is an entrepreneur and content creator, and she has been monetizing these stories just by being her authentic self. Hey, Carla.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I am
Good.
so happy to have you on. I think I was trying to get you on since last year.
It has been a while. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So I'm not sure if I gave you like a proper introduction, and you do so much more besides entrepreneurship and content creation. So if you want to just give us a little bit more about your background.
Sure, absolutely. So I am a mom of two college students. I work in the IT field, and in my other time, I am an entrepreneur. I sell customizable jewelry.
Ooh,
I'm in the health and wellness business, and then I am an authentic content creator.
I love it how you put emphasis on authentic content creator. So tell us, what does an authentic content creator mean?
It's being your authentic self, not necessarily copying what other people do, trying to copy the trends. It's whatever hits you, literally being your authentic self.
Okay, and that's something that you have down pat, because when I look over there on your page, you're just posting content of your day-to-day life as a mom, like you said, of two college students, your jewelry business, what you do in the IT field. So it's just a lot of everything. So I know a lot of people came on here to hear about Facebook stories. How are you able to monetize this authenticity that you have with the Facebook story feature now?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I try to pay really close attention to my insights, like on my Facebook, the Meta professional mode. And I noticed one day when I was under the performance bonus, it said, hey, for a limited time, you can monetize stories. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I don't always post on stories. So I said, let me
Mhm.
just try this and see. And that tells me that Meta is really wanting to focus on stories. So, what you see on the screen right now is a message I saw. It was very early September. And I said, let me start posting stories every day. I wanted to do like a minimum of 10, but more if possible. And I noticed a really big increase in my engagement as
Mhm.
well as in the bonuses that I received. So again, I try to be as authentic as possible, posting about how I'm feeling, what I'm wearing, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking,
Mm.
something that resonates with me. One of the more notable stories was I had to buy tires by myself for the first time. And I took people along the journey, from realizing I needed tires to knowing what type of tire I had and then actually going to get the tires. So because I have ADHD, my stories are all over the place, but that
Mhm.
just speaks to
I love
my
it.
authenticity.
I love it. Oh my goodness. You just mentioned ADHD. So you're able to monetize your content just by being your authentic self. And on
Yeah.
top of that, you have ADHD. And you're
Yes.
a successful entrepreneur, content creator,
Yes.
IT, career, everything. And you're able to still juggle. So how does that work? Because I know a lot of people watching, people have been struggling with their mental health. I wasn't necessarily going to get into that too much, but I hope you don't
Sure.
mind me asking, how are
Not at
you able
all.
to juggle everything?
Well, it is a challenge. Sometimes having ADHD helps with that, right?
Okay.
Because sometimes my attention is all over the place. A lot of times when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about what do I have going on today? What am I going to share? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I'll literally just kind of share in the moment. Um, Occasionally I will kind of have stuff on my phone ready to go, but more often I am like, okay, this just hit me. I'm going to take a picture of that and post it, or this is happening. I'm going to you can take pictures and then like the live photo, turn that into a video. I'll do that. Or I might even go live and turn that into content. But I try to give like a real glimpse as to what's going on in my life at the moment.
Okay, so in a nutshell, it's your superpower.
Exactly. Yep. Just being authentic, just being your authentic yourself. It takes too much energy to be
Mhm.
fake and to be somebody else. So when you're your authentic self, you don't have anything to keep track of.
Okay. And I love how you shared the story about just taking your audience along with you to shop for tires for the first time.
Hmm.
'Cause a lot of people is like, well, that's not content. Or they're thinking like your everyday life is not content, but the proof is in the pudding and you're able to monetize off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also help other people. So part of my sort of niche is supporting people. A lot of
Mhm.
people kind of suffer in silence. And so I share where I am in my journey. And that helps people, whether I realize it or not. A lot of times people will reach out to me and say, hey, saw something you posted the other day that resonated with me. Or they'll reply right to my story. Oh, I have that too. Or, hey, I tried this. Or, ooh, don't do that. I tried that and it didn't work out for me. So like I said,
Okay.
I try to share the good, the bad, and the not so good.
What's your most transparent moment that you think you shared through your content that people really gravitated towards?
Sure. I would say about my divorce. So I ended a 22-year marriage in 2022. And I was really quiet about it while I was going through it. But after the fact, I was very transparent about it. And I still will occasionally post something about like the tires. I had to go buy tires by myself because my ex-husband used to take care of all of that for me. And so I had to do it myself. And I spoke up about it because I know that there's somebody else that is going through something similar. And every single time I'm very transparent about what I'm doing, whether it's something that I'm struggling with or something that I'm proud of, empowering myself. It resonates with people and they thank me for being authentic and transparent and sharing. Because a lot of like I said, a lot of times people suffer in silence, and being authentic helps people to understand that it's not just them, they're not alone.
I love that. So tell me how you've been able to really monetize more on Facebook just by having the story feature added. Like how has that been?
Yeah. So, like I said, I try to post kind of what I'm dealing with for that
Mhm.
day. I have been doing a lot of shopping at a local retailer. It's kind of a non traditional retailer to get clothing at. And so I go shopping every week when their ad comes out. And I've been posting a lot of that content to my stories.
Mhm.
And the photos on my wall, as well as the photos on my stories, are performing very well.
Okay. All right. So a lot of people that's probably tuning in right now, if you're just jumping on, we're talking about monetizing your authenticity with Facebook stories. So Carla, she's trying to tread lightly on the surface, and we know she's been authentic. But how has this increased your funds? Like, has it been able like to pay a bill or two?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just try to give some examples. So I would say I average, like this calendar year, I average between say 18 and $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the month of September, it's a couple of car payments worth. Um,
Ooh,
it's almost three car
stories.
payments worth. Yeah, just from stories. Well,
Okay.
actually, from the performance bonus, right? So included in that performance bonus is stories, photos, public group post, as well as post on my wall, on my profile,
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay, because a lot of times when people are not posting on their feed, they're still posting in their stories, and I'm one of those type.
Absolutely.
I'm one of those people. I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
Hmm.
I keep it real on this show. I am so guilty of sometimes not posting on my feed, but
Hmm.
posting in my stories. Because I'm juggling a lot. I'm posting on other people, so I'm always like leaving mine behind to a certain extent.
Hmm.
But that story feature is a hidden gold mine. It's like a hidden gem because you
It
don't
is.
really get to do any work. And people don't second guess posting in
Hmm.
their stories, but they second guess posting in their feed. They're like, oh, it got to be perfect. It got to be polished. If I put it on my feed, is there, it's kind of like more of a permanent thing. When you're posting your stories, it disappears in 24 hours. And I think that's why we post more in our stories rather than on our personal feed.
Exactly. But what I have realized is that people are attracted to authenticity.
Mm.
They don't necessarily resonate when something is so polished and perfect and poised, because that's not how we are in real life, right? Like my life is one big sitcom, one big blooper, and so I share that stuff. I put it on my profile as well as my stories. And then keep in mind that Meta is always making updates, so now you can change your settings to automatically post to your stories when you post to your feed. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Okay.
The other thing is your stories will show up on your profile as well. So I don't know if you've paid attention when you're on someone's profile, you'll see at in the very top, you'll see their stories and they automatically play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you can kind of hit people in multiple ways. If someone's just exclusively watching stories, they'll see your story there. If they're on your profile, they'll see your stories flowing through. And then when they scroll down, they'll see your post or your videos or whatever.
Okay, I see a few people tuning into from Facebook. So if you guys have any questions for me or Carla, make sure you drop them in the chat. If you guys have Facebook stories, drop a one. Like I want to know who has this feature as well. Have you been able to utilize it? Are you, making money off of it? Is it something that you didn't pay attention to? Because the thing is, this is slowly being rolled out. And just to go back a little bit, Carla, how long have you had this Facebook story monetization feature on your
Sure.
professional
I
dashboard?
saw it pop up. I believe it was September 3rd is when I saw it pop up.
Okay.
Do you want to show them the screenshot again to
Yeah.
show them what it looks like?
Yeah.
I try to check my insights as often as possible. And it's this one. And
Mhm.
when I was on my performance bonus, just kind of looking to see how things were going, I saw this message pop up. And actually, the same message popped up directly on my newsfeed as well, which I thought was interesting. And it said, like, learn more, or get started, or something. So I pressed it, and then I noticed it in my performance bonus. But it just says for a limited time, you can earn money in the performance bonus for views on eligible public stories posted through this earning period. And I kind of read between the lines. I'm thinking it needs to be original content, engaging content,
Mhm.
and things that are not using copywritten music. So I tried to either not post any sound with it at all, or if I did want to put some music, I would do the royalty free or copywritten free music.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just bringing this screenshot that you sent me up about
Sure.
maximizing your content's reach. How has this been beneficial as far as helping you monetize your stories?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, what it was doing for me is telling me they really want to see stories. So, if you go to your insights, it will tell you, hey, how you can maximize your content reach. And this is saying right here, use stories to drive traffic to your existing content. So, it posted very recent posts that I had, and
Mm-hmm.
it just said, shared a story. I did not need to find that post on my wall to share it. I could share it directly from here. And so I started utilizing that. And I did notice it did drive more people to my post, because what it does is it provides a link for you to go back to your post.
Okay. So on top of them paying us for stories, they are directing you to share the content that you're already posted to your stories for you to be able to maximize the feature. Pretty much, they're trying to help you get the money.
Exactly. And they're telling
Okay.
you what to do. People just don't always pay attention. If you pay attention to what is going on back there in your insights, it gives
Mhm.
you tips every day as to what you can be doing to increase your following, to increase your views, your engagement, your reach,
Hmm.
all of that.
That is such a gem because I know a lot of times people are on Facebook and they're just, they're caught in a matrix of just scrolling. I'll throw a post up there, but they're not really paying attention to the suggestions that Facebook is offering. So just one more time for the people tuning in or catching a recap, how do they see these suggestions that Facebook is bringing up on the screen?
Sure. So if you're monetized, if you're in professional mode, if you click on your insights or your dashboard, they keep changing the name of it. If you go to your dashboard, this is the homepage of my dashboard. And then see how it says next steps, and you click on see all. So first it says invite people who reacted. So it will let you invite 100 people at a time, people that reacted to your post. And when you click that, it will bring up, like, I think your top 3 posts, and you can click on it and it automatically will invite 100 people. Whether it's in a group.
Click of a button only takes a second.
Exactly. And you don't even know necessarily who the people are, but you can click on it. It will automatically invite them. It will say, Carla Partridge New is inviting you to follow them based on a post you reacted to or a comment you reacted to. So that's the first one. The second one says, share your top played reel. So if I click that, it'll automatically share it to my stories, right? See how it says see all, and there's 12. If I click that, and I think I did, there should be a screenshot of this as well.
Let me
it's
see
that really long one. Yes. There's 12 different things you can do with your content to increase your reach, your following, your engagement. So it's everything from inviting people to follow you, sharing a reel, replying to your comments. Sometimes if you have a lot of activity on your wall, this will tell you, hey, you have some comments you need to reply to, and you can click on it and it gives you a little box and you can reply to their comments. You can turn your stories into a reel. That's repurposing content. If you click, there should be a little video reel icon on your story. You click that, automatically creates a reel for you. What they do here is if you click, they'll show you like 3 to 5 reels or no stories that you can turn into reels. That way they'll even go back and look at your archive stories, so you don't have to go back and do that.
I love that.
Also if you have some videos or reels, it will allow you to accept the closed caption review. So it will automatically do closed captions sometimes, but when you do this, it will actually publish the closed captions. That way you have more inclusive content. And then the weekly challenge, so it'll tell you, hey, build your following or post this content or whatever. And I'm sure you guys have seen the Rising Creator little moniker that will go on your profile. It will tell you things that you can do to earn that Rising Creator. The next thing is do an A/B test. So I tried this for the first time last month. Not sure if people know what an A/B test is. It's a marketing term. You have one photo and you can do 2 different captions. So I did one with some candy corn and some peanuts. One caption was just like, are you ready for fall? Yes or no. And I did 2 different emojis, one for yes, one for no. The other one, I went into detail about how I love candy corn. Some people like it, some people hate it. I love it, and I love mixing it with peanuts. And it pushed that photo out to different people in my audience. Some saw A, some saw B. After about 30 minutes, it decided which version resonated the most with people, and that's the one it continued to show. But I thought that was interesting.
That is amazing.
Yeah, you can see how your audience reacts to captions. My audience liked the longer caption. It didn't like the poll. It reacted more to that. And I had a lot of engagement on that post.
A lot of people don't pay attention to that.
Exactly.
Wait, we got to pause right there for a second, because an A/B test, that is something that a lot of creators, entrepreneurs, people on social media is sleeping on.
Exactly.
I haven't had anyone come to me and say, oh, I've tried an A/B test. No. But what it sounds like is helping with the storytelling. And a lot of people struggle with storytelling when it comes to content. So instead of saying, I guess this is an example, I'm a single mom and I run a business. It's like you got to walk people through your story in a more intimate, relatable way, whereas though they feel like they can connect with you and they're going to follow and support your content. So it's like being more personable. So this is helping
Exactly.
people be more personable. Is that what you're saying?
For at least for me, right? For my
Okay.
type of content, they resonated with me explaining more and telling what I like and why, and little ways that I like to eat candy corn. And candy corn is controversial, right?
Mhm.
It's a polarizing topic. People either love it or they loathe it. So I posted that, but I said, okay, let me see how people will react to this, right?
Mm,
So that was great. So now I know my audience likes to see more on a caption versus just one or two words or a
yeah.
poll or whatever.
Yeah.
But it
Okay.
just goes back to being authentic, right?
Yeah, I love that. And it's like
Yeah.
still be authentic, but say it a different way too. And I think a
Hmm.
lot of times people struggle with that. So I'll be trying that
Exactly.
myself because I have not used that feature. So when I said
Try
people are
it.
sleeping on this, I'm people. It's me.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I tried it for the first time last month, so you are not alone. Yeah. And then something else people don't realize is that groups are a really good way to grow your audience. So I don't join groups with the sole purpose of, oh, let me join this group so I can gain followers. I
Mhm.
join groups because maybe there's like-minded people in there. Um, a lot of times the groups are public. I'm sure you have seen on your feed all these group suggestions. Like some of them are really obscure, like random groups you've never heard of. Like yesterday, one popped up that said McDonald's complaints, and it was like 600,000 people in
Wow.
there complaining about McDonald's. Why that popped up on my feed, I have no idea. But random groups will pop up. I have joined a few of them, and if you have the performance bonus, you can get monetized on public posts that you have within a group. Now, I don't just post to post.
Hmm.
I will post something that is related to the topic of the group. And I've had post hit like 10,000 people within a group
Oh
because
wow.
it's relatable content,
Okay.
right? So yeah,
Okay.
it's awesome.
So
And I'm monetized on that, which is very nice. I've had certain posts earn $80 just from being in one of those big groups.
I think that's dope because when we first started, well, I know I started when the bonus program originally came out, and I think
Hmm.
you were among like the first crew
Yeah.
too. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so we didn't have that option to kind of monetize off of what we post inside of the group. So I think that's really
Exactly.
cool. Um,
Yeah.
Me, I'm really intentional about what groups that I join. I never just join groups like, oh, let me get followers. I'm like joining a
Exactly.
group like, hey, if I'm trying to figure out how to trade in the stock market, I'm joining a group. I might not follow through,
Exactly.
but I had an interest, so I
Yeah,
want to educate
absolutely.
myself more. So it's like it's always a reason why I'm joining a group, whether it's
Yeah.
Black woman and anxiety, or I just join
Hmm.
groups that relate to me and resonate with me. And
Yeah.
that makes sense because if you're posting your authentic, life and what you deal with on a day-to-day basis,
Hmm.
or people like what you do on a day-to-day basis, because it could just be virtual assistance groups or project managers, IT groups for you. It's easy for you to kind of create a post that resonates with
Yes.
other people inside that group because that's your life too. Like they're relatable
Exactly.
part of your life. So
Yeah,
I like that.
absolutely. Or even commenting on posts, giving people advice or weighing in on stuff. I have noticed that people will follow me after engaging with a comment that I made on a post, which is nice.
I like that. So
Yeah.
a lot of times I stop thinking of like shortcuts as far as let me just join a group before I can just post something that doesn't even resonate with this group and get blocked. Uh,
Exactly.
oh, my
Yeah.
phone, my laptop was dying. We still good. We're here.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm
But
very
be
intentional when
intentional.
I join
Yeah.
groups. Exactly. Yeah. I think it's great. And then the Reels achievement. So if you're very consistent with posting Reels,
Hmm.
they give you these little like trophies
Yeah.
or awards. Hopefully, they'll do something different with that later. But
Yeah. It's
I
kind of
try to
cheap,
be
but
exactly. I try to be
a lot of
consistent with
people know
posting
about that
Reels.
one.
Exactly. And then it says keep growing your profile with insights. So it will tell me whenever I took this, I think it was yesterday. Today, your engagement increased by 1,047. Now learn more about it to help keep the momentum growing. If you go there, it'll say these posts work. Hey, last week you posted 28 times. This week you've only posted 17 times. You should post, X amount of times, which you should always be looking at your insights. That's what they're there for. I have not verified my profile. it tells me to do that. I've not done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And then it says try polls on reels. I have very recently started doing that as well. When I post a reel, I'll add a poll to it. Are you ready for fall? Yes or no? Which color do you like better? Or, name, like I'll try to come up with something relatable to that poll. I secretly think that when Facebook is telling you to do something, they're wanting more people to use that, and they will push that content to more people. So I will try anything once or twice, kind of see how it works, and then keep using it. I'm like, they're telling us to do all this stuff. We should be doing it to help increase our following, increase our reach, our engagement, all of that.
So what's the top 3 that you would say you definitely can't skip past this step?
I would say invite people who reacted. So I had a viral reel back in that, well, I posted it in June, but something happened at the end of August where it took off again, and it hit like almost 3 million people, which is crazy. So I definitely invited people to follow me from commenting, reacting, whatever, on that reel. I took my following from like just under 4,000 over 7,000 based on that reel. The other thing is sharing reels to stories or vice versa. Like it's telling you, it's almost like cross posting, but within your own profile. It's just another way to create another piece of content, especially if that content is monetized. And then the other thing is joining groups. I don't necessarily join the groups to grow my audience, but I've learned a lot here recently joining certain groups. One of the groups I'm in, it's for that retailer I was telling you about. Some of those groups have 3, 4, 5 million people in there.
Because I see you in I think I see you in the Aldi's group. Okay, I see you in
Yeah.
there. I definitely see you in there. I'm like, look, you had the leggings on from Aldi's, right? Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I have not only increased my engagement, increased my reach, I've actually been contacted by some companies just based on stuff I've
Hold
posted
on,
in
brand
there.
deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about it.
So, and again, like I post photos of me in my house, not in a studio. I will literally roll in from the store, take a photo. I'm not wearing makeup. I don't do anything special to my hair. I post my authentic self.
I love it.
And some of those posts get 10,000 views, or we'll get like, 1,300 likes, which that's kind of a lot for a group like that. Right. So like, it's not polished. It's not poised. It's literally me and my authentic self. Again, people don't want to see perfect. They want to see authenticity, because then they see themselves in that.
Yeah.
Right. So that has worked for me for years.
Okay. So have you been able to successfully obtain any brand deals?
I have. Now I'm not, like I'm not getting $1,000 a month from these companies, but I have been contacted by natural hair care companies. They've sent me like their influencer kit.
Oh wow!
I have received. Yeah, I got some products. Yep. So who doesn't love hair care products, right? I had a viral LinkedIn post about wearing my natural hair, and I was contacted by a CEO of a company, which is
off
great.
LinkedIn.
Off LinkedIn. Yeah, people sleep on LinkedIn. Exactly.
Ooh, I was about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is super, super important. And
absolutely.
Do you feel like you limit yourself what content you post on LinkedIn versus what content you post on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok? Or do you just say, oh, I'm going to just put it all? I'm just post it all.
That's a good question. So I use my LinkedIn a lot differently than I use my other social medias. That post that went viral, like I had never even posted on LinkedIn before. I didn't know people posted. I just opted to post, and I walked away from my computer and came back the next morning. I thought I got hacked. There was so much activity, but it was crazy. That was back in 2021. I don't use it the way that I use my other social media, but you can really make some great connections.
That's a good point. So it makes me want to ask you, did the natural hair post that you posted on LinkedIn, did it tie into like career field, or how like natural hair could be like judged or something in a career?
Yeah, exactly. So I wore relaxers for years. In 2014, I stopped getting relaxers and wore my hair straightened, right? So I had this profile picture from 2014. And I was wearing my hair like this. And I was looking at LinkedIn. I was like, that doesn't even look like me anymore. It's like, you should really change your profile picture. But I was hesitant to do. And you know why, right?
Yeah.
So I said, well, I changed it on Facebook. Let me go ahead and change it on LinkedIn. And I did it, and I had a pit in my stomach. And I was like, people are literally, during the pandemic, people are literally seeing you on Microsoft Teams calls looking like this all day. Like, why are you afraid to do this? So I decided I'm going to make a post about this on LinkedIn saying I changed my profile picture because it was a big deal for me. And the gist of it is I did a thing today. I changed my profile picture on LinkedIn of me wearing my natural hair. I've never had an ID badge before with natural hair. I've never gone to an interview with natural hair. I've never, had a first day of work, a list of things that I've never done with my natural hair. But today I changed it. This is a Friday at 4. I walked away. I heard my computer making all sorts of noise. I'm like, what in the world's going on? But went ahead and turned it off. And then I looked at my phone later that night and had like 80 reactions. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that people like looked at LinkedIn. When I woke up the next day, it had like 42,000 reactions. To make a long story short, it got way up there. I mean, like crazy amount of reactions. LinkedIn commented on it. I didn't even know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, LinkedIn, Google, all these companies. I was on multiple podcasts. I connected with people from literally all over the world. I had people telling me, oh my gosh, I'm gray. My hair is gray. I'm not being my authentic self. They started changing their profile pictures and then tagging me in their post. And a couple of magazines shared the post. I mean, it was crazy. So it's being authentic, right? But I didn't really know much about content creation back then. Didn't really know what I was doing. So I didn't have like systems set up or anything like that. But I kind of walked away from that and like focused more on Facebook at that time.
Okay. So I think that's a good point to bring up though. So you had a viral post. It did really well on LinkedIn. But you wasn't necessarily in a content creator mindset. So in some aspect, some might think, well, you dropped the ball. You had Google, you had LinkedIn, you had a brand deal, you was getting natural hair care products. Like, why did you stop? Like, I think a lot of creators get stuck. Like,
exactly. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know anybody like doing content creation. I didn't have any system set up. Like I probably should have like a lead page and stuff like that. I didn't have it. But what I did was learn what not to do, right? Keep that momentum going, be consistent. But LinkedIn, like I said, I use differently because it's like corporate, right? So I use LinkedIn a lot differently than I do Facebook.
Okay, I think that's it. I think that's a great point, and I'm only saying that because I'm being transparent as well. At one point, my lives was so consistent. The group that I had started, it just took off like within a matter of like 2 days, and I didn't expect it. So once again, no system in place, no mindset, no thing to keep up with it when we're juggling so many hats. So it's like we dropped the ball, but the ball can always be picked back up. So today we picked it up.
And experience is the best teacher. Sometimes you learn what not to do along with learning what to do, right?
So true. Entrepreneurs and content creators, we have to stop trying to be so polished. We got to stop trying to be perfect. A lot of us are just learning as we go. And I think it's important to give ourselves grace because it's not a blueprint to this. Everyone becomes successful in their own right. So I just wanted to highlight that because it's like, oh my goodness, what happened? Life happened.
And I was perfectly fine with that.
Okay. I love that. All right. One thing that I do want to ask you about outside of Facebook stories, that I didn't necessarily tell you I was going to ask you about, though, is project management, because I know with the society and inflation and everything, people are looking ways to monetize skills or pick up new skills that they can actually make money off. Me, for
Sure.
one, because I manage a lot of projects, but I don't have certifications for it. And people come to me and ask me, how can, I be a virtual assistant? So I'm thinking I have a manager here. Would you call yourself a project manager, first of all?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Was this something easy for you to get into? And if anyone is listening right now and they're like, oh my God, I'm in between jobs, I'm struggling, I want to have a side hustle, or I want to make this my career, like, is this something that's easy to start?
That's a great question. So I kind of fell into project management. My background is in fashion merchandising.
Mm.
And I was working for a major retailer, and they were doing a software implementation of a supply chain system. And because I had worked for the company for so long, they asked me to be a SME, a subject matter expert. And so I stepped away from my position, and I was helping the technical team with business requirements, documenting what the current system and processes were like, and then what the needs were for the new systems, right? And so at the time, I was a subject matter expert, but also kind of playing the role as a business analyst. I knew nothing about technology or projects or anything like that. Well, the economy tanked. And after that implementation, I got laid off. And I was like a retail buyer. And I said, gosh, what do I want to do when I grow up? Like, I don't necessarily want to go back into that because I have two small children. So I went to the project manager, one of the project managers of the project, and I said, what have I been doing like in the industry? What's the name for what I've been doing for the past 2 years? And he said, you're a business analyst. And I'm like, what's that? And he told me, and I looked it up. So I left corporate retail, like, being a buyer and product development, and I became a business analyst for a consulting firm. And I never had a formal project manager on the projects that I was working on. I was always typically the only consultant from my consulting firm. And ironically, I was managing my own projects along with being a business analyst. And so I picked up some skills just by doing, right? And so I ended up, I worked for a couple of consulting firms, and then I accepted a full-time position at a company, and they said, you're going to be a hybrid role. You'll be a business analyst / project manager. I said, okay. Well, at some point, they decided that they were going to stand up a formal project management office. And they said, Carla, you're now a project manager. And I thought, oh, okay.
I'll take it.
I've been a formal project manager for a while now, and I learned on the job. So project management isn't necessarily something that's entry level. You kind of acquire those skills, right? And like, don't get caught up on the certifications. I don't have any certifications. I have experience, right? You have experience as well.
Certifications, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The certifications, what it does is it teaches you the methodology and the mindset, and it proves that you have been taught by like kind of like the founding, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the methodology, right? Like
The fundamentals.
Exactly. I have learned on the job, and I've done a pretty darn good job. I've worked on multi-million-dollar projects that have made huge impacts at companies. And so I know what I'm doing, right? Could I learn some more? Absolutely. Ironically, I am studying for my project management professional certification right now, but I have years of experience, right? So it's not like I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I would say don't let not having a certification hold you back. By being a virtual assistant, you have project experience, right? If anyone who's ever done an event, they've planned a children's birthday party, they've planned a wedding, they have moved, they've gone on vacation. That's planning a project, right? You have a defined start and end, and there's typically a budget, right? Those are all projects. And so I would say have confidence in yourself, get out of your own way. You can absolutely be a project manager. You're already a project manager. You just don't have that formal title.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people I don't even say virtual assistant anymore. I
Mhm.
say operations manager, say
Absolutely. Yeah.
project manager.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I think I wanted to expand this conversation a little bit deeper because I
Sure.
know some people are like, okay, I'm doing my content thing, but the content is not enough. And
Sure.
I've seen that within the group. I've seen that outside of the group, especially when Facebook slowed down, when people were really relying on that money and the opportunity to make 35K. And I
Yeah.
always said, okay, you guys need to be thinking outside of this. Like,
Mhm.
you can use the skills, your soft skills that you already have.
Sure.
You can use your natural gifts, like you said, planning a birthday party. If you're good at certain things, then you can actually monetize those skills. So on top of monetizing content, I want to challenge everyone to try to monetize their skills, especially if they're in like a financial hardship, if they're in between jobs, if they're
Mhm.
not making enough money, if they're living check to check. It's like
Mhm.
project managing projects is a skill, guys. Just being able to be good at responding to emails and keeping track, doing administrative work. If you're good at just paperwork and responding back to emails, that's a skill. People will pay you for that skill. So
Absolutely.
you have the operations manager, virtual assistant, you have a project manager here. So I just wanted to expand the conversation a little bit
Yeah.
deeper because I know people are really struggling right now. It's a lot of people that's struggling right now. They're like, okay, Facebook stories, content, I don't have it, but you got some skills though. You got
Exactly.
some type of skills. If you ask the people that's closest to you, what what do you think my top three skills? What do you think I'm good at? They might say you're great at speaking. They might say something that you didn't even think about. You like monetizing or creating a side hustle or making money off of. So ask the people around you, what do you think I'm good at? And then
Exactly.
figure out if you can make money off of it. So
Exactly.
yeah, we dropping a lot of gems tonight. I mean, if you're not tuning in and you're catching the recap, I hope you are taking this all in and really thinking, starting to think outside of the box, especially if you are in a position where you need more money. Please think of multiple streams of income and not just content. Facebook stories is one thing, stars, bonus, performance, all of that is good, but should always have multiple streams. So just
Absolutely.
challenging anybody that's listening. Yeah, please
Hi,
take
Takesha.
that. Okay, we had someone. I think this is someone from your page tuning in. Thank you for
Yes. Hi,
tuning
Hi,
in.
Takesha.
If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Since you're just joining, and a lot of other people might just be joining, the things that we discussed so far is monetizing Facebook stories, which is a new feature that Facebook offers where you just post your stories like a lot of people do anyway, but you're able to make money off of it. And Carla here has made enough to pay a few car notes, she said, which is good because a car note sometimes
Absolutely.
okay. If you could take any bill off my plate, is a win for me. A win is a win.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
also discussed
Absolutely.
posting authentically. So Carla, she's posting her day in the life. She's taking her audience shopping for tires for the first time. She's being transparent, relatable, letting them know the ins and outs of her divorce, and just building her audience, building her following, being her authentic self without overthinking. Because a lot of times we
Exactly.
overthink things. Don't
Mhm.
overthink it. Just just hop on, just do it and redefine your process and your strategy later. The main thing is just
Exactly.
starting and being consistent. And we also dropped into I want to call this like a gym. I don't know, like more than a gym, but a bonus topic, which is project management and just using the skills that you're already good at or skills that you can easily pick up and just build your knowledge on and make money off of. So we covered a lot. So if anyone's tuning in and they have any questions, feel free to drop them in. You have content creator, and both two content creators and entrepreneurs here. We just wanted to hop on here to make sure that we give back and we drop some gems, as well as building a community that knows that we're here. We are here to answer your questions, and we're here to win together.
Yes, absolutely. Takesha, I love your comment. She says, I absolutely love Carla's content. It's really relatable and hilarious at times. Thank you so much for sharing that. It actually goes along with how I open this interview tonight, talking about being your authentic self
Mm-hmm.
and posting everything, the good, the bad, the crazy, because it will resonate with somebody or make people laugh. I hear all the time, oh my gosh, I needed that today. So
Yeah,
thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much. Takesha's been following me. Gosh, we've been connected since like 2013 or 14. It's been a long time.
I love it, especially when you have followers that actually stick with you. So
Exactly. Yes.
that's
Absolutely.
exactly what we want as people
Yeah.
posting content. But one thing that you said is that, just posting our life. And I just want to piggyback because I'm thinking, what did people tune into the most for me this year? It was two things that stick out in my head. They tuned into when my hotel room got robbed, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It was a
Yep.
very traumatic experience for
Uh-huh.
me.
Yep.
And I started going live for my own protection and security because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on? If someone can break into my hotel room that was locked, is the hotel in on it? Is the staff in on it? What if someone would have came in here when I was here? Like, would have been more than a robbery? Would have been an
Mm-hmm.
assault? Like my mind was like racing, and I was like, I never imagined being in a situation. Let me just go live. And I had so many viewers for that, which is crazy, which was a little bit overwhelming. It's like the things
Yeah.
that you don't necessarily expect people to tune into, they're tuning in and they're like, oh my God, you're tracking your air tag. Oh my God, make sure you call the police. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God. It was
Exactly.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
But
I
people
hear you.
really tune into that type of stuff. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't have my hair done. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of frantic. Like I wasn't in the best state of mind. I'm all anxious and my anxiety is high.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through a real life situation, and I didn't really monetize off of it. I definitely didn't because it didn't go along with the feature, or somehow I didn't
Mm-hmm.
monetize off of it. But people tuned in, and I'm one of those type of people that I'm like, I don't want to. It's hard. I go back and forth. I ride the fence. Like, should I share like my most transparent moments, or should I keep this to myself because my anxiety is high? Like, you could either make my anxiety higher, or you could just help me bring it down. And it's like a gray area with that. So that is what people tune into the
Mm-hmm.
most. And then
Yeah.
second, my move from Baltimore to
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, when I was posting all my content and taking people
Yep.
along with the journey. Hey, I'm moving the city, not my hometown, but the city I've been in most of my life. And I'm taking a leap of faith and moving to Baltimore. People really like to see that journey. And that was really cool. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Carla, for making me reflect and think on like the
Yeah.
most transparent moments. It just
Mm-hmm.
reiterates your point, like it's like with content creation, if you really want to be a successful, if you really want to, maximize content creation, you really have to let your audience in on some of those moments at least. So
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
can't just
you're right.
say, hey, I'm in Atlanta, my business doing. They're like, you didn't tell us, you didn't take us along for the process. Like, I feel
Exactly.
connected
Yeah.
to your experience now. But when
Yeah.
you start to bring them along, they're like, oh, okay, like, wow, you had to go through all of that to get here. Like, they feel like they understand you more and
Exactly.
want to
Yeah.
tune in for more. So,
Yeah. They can relate and they empathize. Yeah. Takesha says I had mixed feelings about content because I don't want to overshare.
yeah,
Um,
see,
I thought I
me and
needed to stay
Takesha alike.
specific to one niche. It's not to confuse your audience. Well, see, that's on brand for me because I have ADHD, so I'm always all over the place. But I have that little series called A Day in the Life of Carla Pinu, right? That is just on brand for me. My most vulnerable posts are the ones that resonate with people the most, like the
Mhm.
most recent viral video I had with the refrigerator where I left the plastic on. That went crazy. That has almost 3 million views. It's literally crazy. So it's, some people called me names and said I was stupid and this and that, but how many people
People will
commented on that
troll
post
as if you
saying,
expected.
exactly, saying that, oh my gosh, I did that too, or thank you. My husband and I were just trying to figure out last night what's wrong with our refrigerator. So I post it. I'm not embarrassed. Someone learns something new every day. So
Yeah.
I find it funny. It's comical.
I think one of the posts that stands out to me that you posted, and you probably wouldn't even think that it probably would hold that much weight for me, but it was like when you posted that you had ADHD, and I hit you up and said, "Hey, I think you posted about some of your symptoms," and I'm like, "Man, I'm struggling with migraines." At the time when I DM you, I'm like, "I don't think I have ADHD or anything. I think I just got migraines." But I've since then I've kind of self-diagnosed myself with ADD.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
You
people
got the
kind of suffer
conversation,
in
got my
silence.
mind considering it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. And a lot of people suffer in silence. They think they're the only one. Like recently, I've been loud and proud about perimenopause and menopause. So many people are suffering in silence. And sometimes I make it humorous and sometimes I make it real and raw because there's literally millions of people going through it. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I love that. So I love that you had the variety of entertaining and also what would we call that? But I guess educational in a certain extent and
Yeah.
mental health advocacy.
Absolutely.
It's like you get a
Absolutely. Mental
mix.
health
You
is
get
so
a mix.
important.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm all over the place. Okay, now she says, but your Aldi content makes me sad at times. Your Aldi has the good stuff. Oh yeah, my Aldi. We have good Aldis around here. I have there are 3 within 6 miles of my house. Just crazy. So I can hit up 3 within like a half hour, 45 minutes.
I love that. I'm gonna have to get some leggings and stuff from Aldi's because when I see your post, I'm like, I only go in there for food. Like I skip all of that stuff that you are getting
Yeah.
and I'm missing out.
It's crazy. I mean, speaking of menopause, I've picked up some weight due to menopause, and I'm not spending a bunch of money on clothes that might not fit in a month. So I've been kind of replenishing my stuff and getting some cute stuff for $10. Like, who would have thought?
I
Right?
love that.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
great.
have to join some Goodwill groups because I be finding
Yeah,
some stuff in Goodwill, and I didn't
exactly.
even think like let me join a Goodwill group, but
Do it.
now I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
absolutely. Yeah, they have them all over. They've got local groups and they have actually national groups. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
You got her looking for the leggings too. Oh
Uh-huh.
my goodness.
Okay, so here's the deal with Aldi. You have to go the day the ad drops. It's Wednesday. If you wait till the weekend, it would have
I didn't
sold
know that
out.
either.
So
Okay.
go on the day the ad drops as early in the day as possible. That's how you get all the good stuff.
Oh my goodness. I just learned something new too. So I'm gonna have to pay
Yeah.
attention to that as well.
Yeah.
So
See, I'm here for all the tips. All the tips, right?
well, speaking of that, Carla, do you feel like there's anything that you haven't shared that people that's tuning in right now or catching a recap could benefit from?
I would just say make sure you be consistent. So
Mm,
I shared some tips. I'm gonna look at my notes because I did share some tips. So
okay.
be consistent, be authentic, um, use the meta tools. Look at your analytics. It will tell you what's working, what's not working. Meta tools will tell you what to try. If you have a new feature or something, try it. Don't forget to engage with your community. React to people's comments. If you can't reply to all of them, at least react to them. Try to
Mm,
reply to as many as possible. Thank people for engaging. Follow people who are doing well. Follow other content creators that you resonate with. Um, Follow the Meta for Creators page. They post tips and tools and techniques all the time. Also follow content creators on Instagram and TikTok because you'll get ideas and stuff. You can also collaborate with people. That's how I met Tanae, by engaging within a group, right? And we were like-minded and we decided to collaborate together. But my biggest thing is be authentic and be consistent. People, they don't like fake and polished and poised. They like the real deal. I do not wear makeup. I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no problem being on camera without makeup. That's just how I am. It's how I walk around all day, every day. Totally fine with that. Like I said, when
and
I
it's
take my
easy to show
pictures,
up. It's easy to show.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Exactly. Yeah. When I take my
For me.
pictures of my Aldi haul, I come home from the store or will log off work and I'll go over to my fireplace or on my porch and take pictures. Nothing's perfect. People don't want to see polished and stuff anymore. They want to see the real deal. So be authentic.
I love it. Those are some really, really great tips. And if anyone is tuning in right now and they're like, oh my God, Carla is amazing, which I'm pretty
Thank
sure that
you.
everyone is thinking, how can
Thank
they
you.
find you?
Yeah, thank you for asking and thanks for the compliment. I am on Facebook. My little handle on Facebook is Carla P. New.
Hmm.
On Instagram, I'm Carla New 1022. And that's also my TikTok handle, Carla New 1022.
Yeah, awesome. And if you're watching this right now from the replay, make sure you drop replay in the chat. And if you have any questions that we haven't answered, still feel free to drop them in the chat because we'll probably try to come back and, comment on it even after the live is over. So, Carla, I just want to thank you so, so much for coming on. I'm so glad I got to catch you in 2024, like before 2025.
Yes.
Like, this is October 1st, by the way, October 1st, the first day of fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, if this live didn't help you plan for the rest of the year, or at least start to think outside of the box on how you can maximize your content or use the skills that you already have and just, being your authentic self, then I don't know what can set the tone for fourth quarter. So I hope everyone is having a great October 1st and everyone is motivated and just, realign to end the year strong. So I will be back next week with another episode for Real Talk Business and Motivation. If you guys have any ideas for upcoming episodes, things that you want to see, guests that you want me to bring on, topics that you want me to discuss, please drop them in the chat because I'm listening. I'm listening. I need your help. Help me bring you valuable content. Okay.
Well,
But
thank you so much for having me.
yes, you're amazing. You're super dope. You're super relatable. You inspire me. It was so crazy showing up today because I'm starting a month with like a detox, and I'm just like, my energy is low, and I'm just like, why did I say I was going to do this on October 1st? I'm hungry. Like, I had 2 smoothies today. Like, I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And my hair was all over the place. And I'm like, I still got to show up.
Show up regardless. Exactly. Do it
I tried to
scared
brush it and
and
stuff,
show up.
trying to get a little polish, but this is
Exactly.
still struggling over here. So I still showed up, guys. So I just
Yeah,
wanted you to
absolutely. Yeah, do it scared, show up regardless.
Yes.
You
So
have
thank
to
you.
try.
Thank you
Exactly.
for being an inspiration to me and so
You're
many
welcome.
others. And I hope that you continue to grow and prosper, moving forward. I'm excited to see what else there is to come.
Thank you so much. We'll have to collaborate again. Thanks for having me. And
Of
Keisha,
course.
thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, and see you next week. Make sure you turn your post notifications on.
Take care.